Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another What's Poppin' review here.
Yes.
My buddy Tim. How's it going, Tim? How are you?
Doing good. Getting ready to talk about a movie.
Yeah. Today we're gonna be reviewing Underwater,
Yes.
starring Kristen Stewart.
Yep, from a Twilight fan.
From the yes, from Twilight.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest with you. Okay. I went into this movie not expecting anything really. Like I like the premise of the film, and that's what kind of drew me to go watch the movie, was because it's like, ooh, underwaters, ooh, it looks kind of like Aliens but underwater. Interesting. Okay, all right, I like it. I'm not sure how Kristen Stewart's gonna do, because I'll be completely honest with you, I just didn't really care. I don't care for Kristen Stewart. Before this movie and all this other stuff, I never really cared for her acting. I just always thought she was like whatever's.
She didn't express emotion too well. She was all just kind of like, and just kind of very one-faced in the Twilight series, and so I didn't have any expectations for her specifically.
Yeah. So I didn't have any expectations from her acting or anybody else in this movie at all. So just going into it kind of blind, and just going in to go see an entertaining movie, and that was pretty much it. So I had no expectations at all. Now, do you want to go ahead and let them know what the movie's about?
Sure.
Like the overall premise.
So we're going to basically try and talk non-spoilers first, in case for some reason that matters to you guys.
First half will be spoiler free, and then we'll let you guys know when we're going to talk about spoiler stuff, and we'll mention the stuff that we liked the most that relate to the spoiler. But yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So Underwater is a movie that stars, like we said, Kristen Stewart, and she works on a deep sea diving mine shaft in the Mariana Trench. And some events happen that kind of make the whole place not suitable to remain in.
So they're pretty much drilling for like resources and stuff.
Correct.
Right?
They're just doing the basic, corporate. We're trying to get resources and sell it. Things happen. They can't stay there, and it's a harrowing journey to make it out alive and save as many people as they can. And get out from such a deep place where there's, I think they said at the start of the movie, it's like 10,000 pounds per square inch of pressure and all this other stuff. And as the trailers show, it's not all just normal underwater stuff. There's creatures out there, very alien looking things, and they aren't necessarily nice. That's all I'll say as far as a non-spoiler.
You can see it in the trailers that there's something in the water, and they're not sure what the hell it is.
Correct.
So yeah. Wow. Let's get into first reactions. Tim, what did you think overall?
I really liked this movie. I genuinely had a good time. Nice. I went to again, it was not playing at my local theater for some reason. So I drove out of my way about an hour to go to this other theater that I'd never been to before, and it was a wonderful experience.
Nice.
And it was me and my wife and just a few other people, including an elderly couple that had a shock of their life with what this movie actually was about. And it was wonderful. But I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought a lot of the scares actually got me. There was multiple points where my wife actually was laughing at me because I jumped bad several spots. There was a lot of different sequences. There was a lot of humor as well from TJ Miller. He's in this.
Which, by the way, TJ Miller's in this. I had no fucking idea he was in this movie, dude. I don't even think he's in the trailers, as far as like from the one I saw.
Yeah, I don't remember him being in the trailer. He was funny to me. I know that he has controversy in him getting canceled, but for this movie, he did great.
Yeah, you know what too is that I thought it's funny because TJ Miller plays TJ Miller in every movie. This is facts, right?
Yeah.
So I thought he was gonna feel out of place, or he's gonna get kind of annoying. But he actually fits right in, and he did not bug me at all.
Yep,
not at all.
And I have to tell you, there was, like I said, several points where it actually scared me, and there was points I could feel my heart actually kind of really beating heavily, and I didn't expect that. But something about the claustrophobia of being trapped in a tube with limited air, and then trapped with darkness all around you, just hit a phobia in me I didn't know I had until that moment, and I was like this. My hands actually were doing this in the theater. I was like, oh my God. So I really enjoyed this. It reminded me, like you said, heavily of Underwater, but with like Alien, but underwater. Like I found Kristen Stewart's character very similar in some aspects to even Ripley.
Yeah, no, of course, with the shaved head and
yeah,
and they had her running around in her underwear and her sports bra and stuff, which was, I mean, in the beginning it made sense, you know, once shit started to happen, but towards the end, I guess it's because they needed to like fit into the suit or whatever.
Yeah, that was the excuse, is that they couldn't get into these certain suits without being very form fitting, and I guess that was something.
Which, by the way, those suits, man, were so fucking cool looking, dude.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job, and I kind of like, it got me thinking that they could probably do like a Mass Effect like movie with those kinds of suits, you know, like it's possible, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I have to say the ending was very surprising. Didn't expect it. I welcomed it because I had no expectations with this movie, and it reminded me of a few things. I won't say what, but it's cool, and they technically do leave it room for sequels because of the way it kind of wraps up. So overall, I really enjoyed it. If I have to go ahead and give my rating, I would say I would give it a very solid 4 for me.
Wow.
I definitely give it a buttered.
Wow. Okay.
The fact that it surprises you tells me that you may not feel the same, and I'm
okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm ready
no. Hey, I'm honestly, it did surprise me because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what kind of reaction, because we didn't really talk about, like, usually sometimes we'll mention to each other if we like the movie or not before we actually film the cast, you know. But yeah, wow, that surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
All right, so a butter for you.
Yeah, it's buttered for me. I'm curious. This might be our first time disagreeing, which is going to be an interesting mark.
No. All right. So, me personally, like I said, I went into it kind of open-minded, blind, whatever, you know. I didn't have any expectations at all, especially Kristen Stewart. She didn't have a track record for me. Thought she was always just kind of whatever's. But man, did she fucking kill it in this movie, dude. I think that she did an incredible job, and I was really surprised by it. It was funny too. It's like I was sitting there. I went to go watch the movie by myself at a matinee showing. So basically, do you know what matinee is?
Yeah.
Like you watch
it's just daytime. Yeah.
Cheap, you know?
Yeah.
And they have so the tickets were really cheap as hell. I got my ticket for like $8.50 whenever so for matinee showings, they're very cheap around my area.
Oh.
And there was barely anybody there. There was barely anybody there.
Yeah, I think matinee prices with me is still like $12-ish.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're getting robbed out there. Yeah, well, for us, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, because they're like, this is the only place you can go. What are you gonna do?
Right. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
but so the theater wasn't very packed at all. Well, like I said, this is like an early showing, so I don't expect a lot of people to be there. I feel like this is a movie that is probably gonna be more in terms of like people wanting to go watch it like date night. You know what I think? You know what I mean? This is actually a pretty good date night movie, by the way, too.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I was the scared person. My wife was sitting there going, "It's okay," the whole time. So it's good for dates, but
yeah. So like I said, I think Kristen Stewart's character was pretty good. She this is probably the first movie, and I tweeted this out too as soon as I got out the movie. I was like, I'm actually surprised that this girl killed it, man, because I had no expectations. And like I said, that's probably why I'm liking it so much, because I had no expectations at all from any of this movie. Like, I just kind of liked the premise, and that was it. Going in open-minded, and yeah, she did a phenomenal job. And not only that, guys, but like the movie doesn't take long for it to start kicking into gear, man. Like it is probably like the first 3 minutes is kind of like just basic dialogue. She's just kind of like brushing her teeth, and it's just, you know, talking about how she like misses somebody, if I'm correct, if I remember that. I think it's like
she talks about how hard it is to tell day from night.
Yeah.
And you lose track of what day it is while being that deep underwater, because they're 6 miles deep.
Yeah, so she's talking about, she mentions that, and she also mentions, I think that she's with somebody or something like that. I don't know if that's later on in the movie, or if that's where I'm getting at. And as she's brushing her teeth, shit starts to happen, and pipes are bursting, and she's just running in her underwear and her bra, and then she's trying to wake people up as she's running to like the main little facility thing, so they can transfer over to like another facility thing that's underwater, because this is like a giant building underwater that has like inner tubes that they can transfer from each one place to another place.
Right.
But she was only successful enough to wake up one person, or not one. Yeah, one person did it. She tried to wake everybody up as much as she could because she was running for her own life. That this other person finally, I guess, woke up, and they both run into like the safe spot, and they see two other people running towards her. She had to just pretty much eject them and close off. And so everybody, apparently there was like over 100 people in that facility that she was in that died. So she had to make that call whether she should just eject or wait for them. But no, like the pipes were just, the water was just getting in there, you know, the pressure was crushing everything. And so she made the call, and just him and that other guy just pretty much survived at that moment, but they still weren't in the clear. They had to go into this other little room where pretty much she had to hack something to get to another facility to be at a safer place. And for some reason, I don't know if you got this on your viewing, but I couldn't hear shit what she was saying and that other guy were saying when they were trying to like we're trying to hack like a server, and for some reason I just couldn't understand what they were saying. Even the people in my theaters.
I heard him loud and clear, so that must have been an issue with your showing, because
I don't know, like the audio just seemed weird. I was like, why can't I hear them? It seemed like the water or something was just overpowering their dialogue. Weird. So let me know if you guys go watch this movie, let me know if you guys have that same experience where you just can't hear shit. It's only that specific part. But I'm like, wait, what?
Because I don't remember that at all. I remember just it was very clear, but
and so she and this other gentleman finally get up to the main control room where they find 3 other people.
Yep. Oh, and real quick, because we're trying. Are we still trying to avoid spoilers or not?
Yeah. We're still avoiding spoilers. Okay. Where they find 3 other people. One played by Vincent Cassell, Jessica Henwick, and the other person I believe is John Gallagher. Yeah, John Gallagher Jr. They all find each other there, and pretty much they have to find a way to get from point A, which is their start point, to point D. So they stop by point B and they start to C until they can get to D.
Yep.
And as they're doing that, their journey is just interrupted by multiple things, man. Yeah. And it is, like I said, it is such an entertaining movie. Don't expect so much story, like heavy story or heavy background with some of these characters, because honestly, you're probably not really going to give a shit about any of these characters. You feel bad for them because of the situation that they're in, but you don't feel bad for them because of their story.
Sure.
Because there's barely any story there in terms of like character development for them. You understand what I'm saying? They're just it's about a group of people that are just stuck in a situation that they shouldn't be stuck in because they're just there to work.
Right, yeah. I would say it's about as much character development as is in, I know we keep talking about it, but like the first Alien, it's about as much characterization in that one.
It's totally fine to bring up because this movie is very reminiscent to Alien 1 and Cloverfield.
Yeah,
I got a lot of Cloverfield vibes from this movie, and which ironically enough, I think T.J. Miller's in that movie too. In Cloverfield,
there was also a shot in this that reminded me of a scene in The Mandalorian.
I know what you're talking about.
Dude.
But if you guys, like I said, don't go in there expecting so much of like a heavy story. Go in there for a lot of intense claustrophobia and horror elements. I think the camera shots underwater, I've seen a lot of people complain about they really couldn't see shit. I'm like, that's kind of the fucking point. They're in the deepest part of the ocean where you can't see shit. And the only light that they have is coming from their helmets or some of the lights from the buildings that are on the underneath, and it's that's what makes it fucking terrifying, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
what fucked with me.
Yeah, and the shots of where like she's like you, it's not a first person shot. It's more of like an angle of where
Over her
it's
shoulder.
Like, it's yeah, it's either over her shoulder or in her helmet. You can still see the side of her face, and anytime she looks over to her right and she sees nothing, and she looks over to the left and she sees like glowing eyes or something, it freaks me the fuck out.
Yes, it did.
Oh my god! I just like I was sitting there by myself. I didn't jump, but man, I was like, ooh, I'm getting chills because you know something was pretty much like stalking them the entire time as they're making their journey to from first to point A to point B. And once they get to point B, more shit starts to happen. So anytime they stop at a point, it seems like it gets worse and worse, and then finally gets fucking like atrociously bad. So I think this movie is a lot of fun, man. Go in there just to kind of get a few good jump scares. Not so much in big in story plots, like, you know, the characters, like I said, you're probably not really going to give a shit about, just because there's no like good character development to the point where it's just like you latch yourself to that one character. But you do feel bad for them because you're just like, fuck, man, this sucks for them, you know, like nobody deserves what they're going through at all. But I'm gonna have to give this a 3.
Yeah, I was figuring a 3.
Very close to a 4. It was I wanted to give it a 4, I really do, but it's just the fact of the one, I wasn't a fan of the ending. I felt like they played that too safe, and they played it very predictable.
Okay.
And then the other one was the fact that there's a lot of dumb things that certain characters did that I was just that could have been avoided. That was kind of like I don't know. And the last one would be the whole character thing. Like I didn't feel any emotional attachment to either one of them. Like yeah, I just didn't care like that much. Like yeah, I felt bad, you know, them as people, but didn't feel bad. I was like, oh my god, please don't kill her off. That's my favorite character or anything like that. Yeah, I had no emotional attachment to any of them. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. So that's a plain popcorn for me, maybe with a little salt. You know, no butter, just a little salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough, man. I mean,
yeah.
That's the beauty of different like perspectives and opinions.
And I think this is actually the first time we've actually had different.
It is. I was getting kind of weirded out how every single time we thought of a score to give, it was going to be the same. So I'm kind of glad this has happened, because it's like oh, we are different people.
yeah. Absolutely. I think I think you guys should definitely still, like, for me, I think you should still go watch this movie. I liked it enough that I would definitely watch it again. Not only that, let me mention this film seems like it's not going to have the same effect if you watch it at home, unless you have like a really nice surround system and a nice screen. Because
if you do have to watch it on a worse screen, I would say turn all the lights off, have it like on a monitor, and wear headphones with the volume pretty high up, and you're going to get similar. But I agree.
Yeah,
it's a theater.
Yeah, I think this is like a good theater experience in terms of like, when they're walking in the ocean, like underwater, it looks fucking cool. And the sound, dude, it's very nice. Like I liked it. Like
the surround sound in the theater I was in, when something swam,
like the sound of it, right.
Fuck me. I was like getting shivers, like, because it was just like, and I was like, like, mess with me. So yeah, I agree. It's definitely a theater movie.
I think this is a theater experience, and this is a good date night movie. Try to take somebody that, you know, is gonna go there for like good scares. Nothing too ridiculous in terms of like this isn't. It's a sci-fi thriller / horror. For me, like, it's not like, oh, this is only a horror movie. No, I think it's a sci-fi thriller horror. There's a lot of thriller elements and a lot of, you know, sci-fi, which we will get into it in the spoilers part. And then the horror elements is basically like the certain jump scares that were, a lot of them weren't cheesy at all. There was some that, you know, the basic horror movie, you know, jump scares, but a lot of them were like very unpredictable. A lot of tense moments, you know what I mean?
The ones that were kind of predictable, which there were a few. I'm not going to say they were all perfect, and by no means, but the ones that were pretty predictable didn't bother me like they would in like The Grudge.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if it's just because it's not a ghost and it's a creature, it's like a living thing. That did it for me more, like a lot better. Because if it's a ghost, you're just like, great, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Versus a living being, you're like.
And this is the thing too. It's just that what makes it very interesting about the story is that they're in the deepest part of the ocean. They're supposed to be in the deepest part of the ocean, and nobody knows what the fuck is down there, dude.
No.
You know, and it's scary. It's almost like space, where it's just like you don't know, like you just don't know. Like you can find all kinds of different species that we've never even heard of, and that kind of leads up over to the spoiler section here because there's something that I want to talk about in regards to that. But if you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like the video. But if you guys are gonna stick around for the spoiler section, thank you guys. Appreciate that. So 4 out of 5 for Tim.
Yes.
3 out of 5 for me. So that's definitely a watch.
So I think combine that. It's light, very lightly buttered.
Yeah, very lightly buttered. Just no extra, but still like
yeah. So
I got
spoilers, man. Let's get into
Spoiler time. Go ahead, Tim. Is there anything you want to talk about? Spoilers.
I'm gonna jump straight to the end, man.
Dabble in. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go straight to the end. Very H.P. Lovecraftian Cthulhu monster shit going on, and it's
like a fucking kaiju monster underneath.
Yeah, it looked like Cthulhu. I mean, he even had like a weird beard kind of thing, and like a kraken monster. I was like, did not expect that. That's fucking cool. Because
I didn't expect it either. I wasn't expecting it. I expected more of the little monsters, but I didn't expect a giant one like that. But then, you know what's weird to me? I should have expected it because in the beginning, as shit's breaking and stuff, those little small things weren't gonna do that. It's obvious that there was a big one this whole time, but I just got so distracted by the little ones.
I appreciate it so much that that's you could put that together. I think that's really well done for storytelling. Because something I don't like what a story does is that they have like wow, look at that big reveal at the end. And you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense because if that's the case, then this and that and blah blah blah. This one actually kind of makes sense with what happened in the movie because there's another point where they're walking past. They're like, how in the world did that drill get de-seeded or something like that? Weighs like 100 tons or some crazy number, 600,000 tons. And it's like, oh, okay, well then there's a big thing. Like that's when I accepted that fact. But I love the weird sci-fi fiction aspect of it where they're like, not even, I guess they're living creatures, but they're like just little defense mechanisms of this bigger one, and they're like in his pores on his back and arms and all that, and it was just so creepy but cool.
So there's like little creatures which you will catch in the trailer stuff if you guys are still watching this for some reason. The little creatures are actually just babies that are on his arms and his back, and he's just carrying them around. But we don't get that reveal until the very end that when they're trying to get to point D, like the final door, they had to walk underneath a whole bunch of them.
Dude, that
those little ones just hanging and just sleeping there.
Dude, that shot, I didn't realize what it was at first. I was like, the fuck is this? Because it was in the trailer, I think, but I didn't put it together. Yeah. And then I saw that it's like their hands, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's just their hands. Shit. Like they're all sleeping and they're walking. They have to walk through there
with limited oxygen.
Limited oxygen, and they're just fucking panicking, and they're just trying to keep it cool. It's just trying not to wake any of these things up. And then one of them finally gets through, while the other one gets caught and wakes one of them up
because the alarm goes off about the oxygen thing, and it wakes.
The oxygen kind of wakes them up because there's like a little alarm that goes off for them. And one of them grabs Kristen Stewart's character and is about to swallow her whole body, and like it looks fucking insane. But she has like a flare looking gun that goes underwater, and she shoots it right in the mouth, and it pretty much she just goes through it.
Yeah.
After shooting it.
But then all the other ones are pissed off.
But keep in mind, this was just one, which was a badass moment, by the way. When she killed that thing, I was like, fuck yes, dude.
Yeah.
Because I think I did say that there was no character development, right? But I think her as like, I think as she went on through this journey, she just said, fuck it. That's what I liked about it. She went more and more into like, I don't give a shit. Like, let's, she got more brave.
Yes, true.
As it went along. She went
on top of that. There was, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. There was some moments before this, like it was kind of early on when they barely get to point B, where pretty much. Oh no, I'm sorry. They get to point C. It was a C point. Right. It wasn't that early on. They get to point C where they kind of encounter the one of the little ones, and this is back when we just thought that there was just only one little one, and she sees it for the first time, and she fucking stands there and she's freaked out, like she don't know what to do. She's just like standing there, she's trying to look for it, and she sees it, and it's swimming around her, and it's like trying to decide whether if it wants to attack her there or not. But that moment, she just doesn't know what to do because she's freaked out. And I put myself in that situation. Yeah. Like, what would I do? Would I run?
No.
Because you're underwater, you're not really going to move. But she's just like,
dude,
like, am I really seeing this right now? Like, yeah, she was.
I talked with my wife on the way out of there, and I'm like, if I was in that moment, I wouldn't be able to move. And I would literally just, no one would in comms would understand what I'm talking about. I'd just go, fuck me. Like, I would just be like, I'm screwed because I can't deal with this. The way, okay, so I got to talk about that's a tiny little subversion there.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's fucking like crouched like a predator, and it's just moving so nimbly, keeping in mind they're so far down. It's 10,000 square, like, and it's like here's the light line, and it's like just barely out of view with its glowing eyes at her. I'm like, this is hitting every nerve of what I hate in life.
And the thing was too that I didn't think we're gonna actually get like a face reveal. I thought this whole movie was gonna be like in the shadows, and it was just gonna kill off people, like almost like a slasher. It was just gonna kill them off, and that's it. We're never gonna get like an actual close-up look. No, you get a close-up look of everything. I didn't expect that. That was one of the things too. There was a funny moment with T.J. Miller when his character actually gets killed off.
I was so sad about that.
I was sad about it, but at the same time, I feel like it was perfect. If he was going to be the first one to go, or if there was going to be anybody that was going to be the first one to go, it was going to be him.
Well, actually, it was the black guy. Typical horror moment.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fuck, I forgot about that. And the way he died was really fucked up, dude. That was. As soon as they hit the first exit door, that's before leaving point A, dude, and they're trying to get to point B barely. This guy's helmet, his pressure,
it's got like
pretty much the pressure from underwater. Yeah, it has like a crack in it that to the point where it's just that the pressure from being underneath that water, all those smashes his face.
Yeah, because they're screaming, don't open the door, like, and they don't hear him in time, and they do that, and it's so gross because it's just like a boom. And then they're going through the shattered bits. I'm like, like it was messed up. But TJ Miller's death.
Yeah, but it was played by Mamoudou Athie. He played Rodrigo.
Nice.
And he did a really good job. I liked his character too, and it's a shame that they killed him off early on, man. It really sucks. I wish he kind of would have stuck it out a little bit longer. I liked it because you can tell that there was that scene where Kristen Stewart had to pretty much make the call of pretty much, ejecting the building away so it collapses or whatever.
Yeah.
He was very sympathetic to her, and he told her, hey, you did what you had to do. Like, it's okay. Like, he knew that in her face that she felt like she was in shock that she had to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I felt that felt convincing as hell. So it's very unfortunate that happened, that, they had to kill him off. But he got it. He probably one of the worst deaths.
Well, it looks gross, but if you think about it, it's probably one of the most merciful ones, because kind of like with the actual like captain, I guess, character, they both explode. So it's like, oh no, this is happening, and then they're dead. They didn't feel anything. They just died.
Yeah.
TJ Miller's, man, I for some reason got so invested stupidly. I made
and it was really funny too. Before we get to it was really funny because as it's about to happen, you kind of see that it's going to happen in the background. You see like walking around him and stuff, and he makes a little comment. He's like, I don't know, it's like this weird fucking Slender Man back here. As soon as he mentioned Slender Man, I was like, oh my god, of course he had to go with that joke. I didn't even think about it at first, but I was hilarious.
Yeah, he does a good job of he also mentions like it's better not be some like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea type shit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
he's pretty much the audience, you know?
yeah. And he had a bunny rabbit and all this other stuff, and
Yeah.
I got so stupidly. You never get attached to characters in horror. That's how you make it through it. I got attached to him. Out of all the characters, I was like, ride or die. I want him to live. And I'm like, just go. It's behind you. And then he got grabbed, and the way it just ripped him out of the suit and blood, I was like, damn it. I was so sad about that. So I for me, it was easy to get invested, but I guess I was just too open-hearted going into this.
Right.
But no, you were mentioning character development, and I wanted to throw this in to get your idea. You mentioned how cool and badass of a moment it was when she shot the flare and killed that alien.
Yeah.
I find when we think about character development, it's actually kind of interesting. At the very beginning of the movie, she won't even kill the little spider in the sink.
Yeah.
She's super regarding of life. And then she has to make that terrible decision that we hope we are never in, of sacrificing those people to save others. And then at the end, she's willing to kill creatures. And the biggest finale version, she explodes everything. So
so she, pretty much the last defining moment of her was that there was 3 pods, and she chose to let 2 of them leave. The couple survive. She even punches the shit out of one of them, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I was supposed to be a serious moment, but she punches the shit out of her, like, shut the hell up and get in there and just get the fuck out. Before, it was almost like you better get in there before I change the fucking mind type of thing, you know?
Yeah. It was funny because she was like, no, you go. No, I go. No, you go. And she's like, just get in there. And she's like, oh, God. All right, fine.
Yeah. She ends up sending him off in the pod. The 3rd pod is broken. It doesn't even work. So she's just like, fuck. And so she stays there, and she pretty much blows the entire facility up with this giant kaiju monster. Basically, like, you know, what you said, looking like Cthulhu, looking like, and all these little ones are swimming up. The ones that are coming off of its body, swimming up to try and get her partners. Yeah, the 2 pods that she launched off. So she has to make the call of blowing the shit up right now so she can distract them, or pretty much, you know, hold them back for as long as till they can get away. And that's exactly what happens. She pretty much just says, fuck you, right in front of the monster. Boom, blows everything up, and they were able to get away. And then the ending is pretty much just goes off of like the news, like reporting, you know, that there was like news clips of reporting that there was something that went down underwater, and it's like the government pretty much covering everything up,
which is exactly how it
would play out.
They would never tell people. They're just gonna be like, "It's an accident. People are crazy. We're not letting them talk to anybody else because
unforeseen, you know, circumstances. Facility underwater because for reasons."
The crew that got on the escape pods before everything kind of went to shit, they didn't see any aliens. They just thought something bad had happened. So all those people made it to the top, and they're probably countering what the other people are saying, because it's only 2 who survived the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're like, they're crazy. This just happened like that. And so it's just super
and not only that, but
them.
it also stated on there that they would not let any of those, or they wouldn't let those 2 do any interviews.
Yeah.
In the end, it actually stated that, they won't allow any interviews with the 2 survivors and da-da-da. So they're pretty much, the government was just covering up everything. And that's where it kind of reminded me, the giant monster in that particular section of like the cover up reminded me of Cloverfield.
Yeah.
That's what reminded me the most. Like this could have fit in perfectly with like the Cloverfield universe.
It can. I think it definitely could. It also kind of reminded me of it's not Sevastopol, that's Alien Isolation. What's the company of Alien and Aliens? The actual like evil corporation. Well, anyway, that corporation did the same thing with the xenomorphs whenever that was found out. They were like, nothing happened here at all. Go ahead and collect these things. And they keep trying to get people to thing like that. So that's why I think maybe there's possibility for a sequel. I'd be open to it, but I don't know. This whole movie was such a ride for me. I actually keep thinking about it, and I want to watch it again. Like, I
Yeah,
really
I've thought
liked
about
it.
actually wanted to check it out too. Are you talking about Wayland, right? The Wayland Company?
Wayland Yutani.
Yeah, Wayland Yutani. There we go.
Those bastards.
Yeah, I had a brain fart too. I'm like, how the fuck do I not know this already?
Yeah.
And it's just like the W with the, it's like, come on, I should know this already. But yeah, the whole Wayland Company. Yeah, it reminded me. I'm telling you, Aliens 1 and Cloverfield was like the big, resemblance there. They don't, in terms of story, they're not as big compared to those. But
there's definite room, but this movie as a standalone, it does not have the depth of those.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind another sequel, like obviously not with those characters, but just like a sequel involving another group, and then they encounter either the same one or they encounter another one.
Yeah, it could even be like a military op, because like Alien was the horror where they're defenseless. Aliens was okay. Now it's like these Marines in space taking care of shit, and it still sucks. So I think if they do anything, that could be an obvious path, but then that might be a little too samey. So it's kind of up in the air, but
yeah.
All
right, but yeah, the last thing I didn't really like was the name. I felt like they could have picked a better name, Underwater.
Oh man,
very basic and generic. I feel like they could have done a different name.
Underwater, where no one can hear you breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's play on the Scream thing from Alien.
Right. Excellent. Is there anything else you want to add on to the movies? The spoilers? Or
no, I mean, pretty much it. We talked about pretty much the main points. It's the main reason I liked it overall was the claustrophobic nature of it, and the fact that it was like living beings that really fucked with me. I think that's the main reason I like it so much. Actually, talk
about one more thing that really bugged me that I thought was really stupid.
What's that?
That I did not mention was Jessica Henwick's character. She played Emily, the other female actress in there. She decides at first they find a little baby one. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
There's a little baby version of those small, creatures, the ones that are swimming underwater, and then there's a big one. But first they encounter a little baby one, and they bring it in the facility because they kill it, and they are not sure what it is, and she's like fucking touching it, and I was like, why would you touch something like that? Doesn't even look like a fish or an octopus. Like, it is clearly something that is not normal. And she's like touching with the pen, and then she finally touches a spike that it has.
Yeah, it's like a sharp talon.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna scratch her. She was probably gonna get infected or something. But nothing like that happens. It was I thought that part was really stupid of her, like in terms of the character. Like
it was a definite horror movie trope of like, why'd you go in there? Or,
exactly.
Doing? Yeah. You turned your back on the knife set, you dumbass. Like it's moments like those.
right.
It's definitely one of those moments. I agree with that.
But honestly, I loved it. I liked it a lot. I want to say I loved it, but I say I liked it enough to where I wouldn't mind watching it again, whether if it's theaters or not. But like, I think as a first viewing, go watch it in theaters, guys. It is a cool experience, and like I said, it's a date movie. You guys will like it. Yep. But anything else you want to add on to it, or are you good?
Nope. I think it's cool. This is our first different rating. I appreciate
different rating. So Tim gives it a 4 out of 3. I give it a 3.
4 out of 3.
I'm sorry. 4 out of 5, and I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yes.
Mine was a plain, almost buttered, just a couple of things that I feel like could have been tweaked a little bit there. But yeah, overall, good film. Go check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next review. We'll let you guys know on Twitter what will be the next movie or show. It could be a show that we review this time.
True.
So we'll let you guys know next on Twitter. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I hope you guys enjoy Underwater. Be sure to like the video.
Yep.
Comment down below what you guys think of the movie yourselves, and also tweet it out. Share it on social medias as always. We'll see you guys soon. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.